This is Joe, and I want to share with you some of the documents I use when I do a seller financing deal. So, seller financing is a really neat option. Not a lot of people consider it, but it's something that you should think about if you've got a piece of property that maybe isn't the most desirable because it's either located in a rural part of town or because the house that's on the property, maybe it's in distress and won't qualify for traditional financing. When you've got property like that, it really limits the amount of buyers that are accessible to you. So if you want to increase that buyer pool, one neat way you can do it is by offering seller financing. Because when you offer seller financing, now you've opened it up to a lot of people who don't have access to traditional financing because maybe they recently relocated to the United States, or maybe they don't have a good credit score or a bunch of other things, but that they could potentially be good buyers and consistently make that payment. So I'm going to share with you the contract that I use when I do a contract for deed or a land contract. But there's really two ways to do seller financing. The first way is you behave like a mortgage or like a bank. And the first way you can do it is you can go through the whole process with an attorney. You can close on the property. The deed gets transferred to the buyer's name, but you hold a mortgage on the property like a traditional bank. That's one way of doing it. I think that's a little bit more costly. It's way more time consuming, but it is one way to do it. And if you approach an attorney, this is how they're going to want to do the transaction. They're going to want to deed the property over to the buyer, actually deed it in their name, and then they'll also record at the county a mortgage on your behalf. And so once they've paid that balance and they've satisfied the mortgage, then they own the property scot-free, free and clear. Now, the second way you can do it that's faster, that I feel is much better, and the way that I like to do it when I do a seller financing deal, whether I'm on the buy side or the sell side, is a land contract. And so the land contract's straightforward. You sign a contract that says, hey, you're going to pay me $5,000 down payment, $200 a month, $300 a month, whatever the case may be. First payment is September 1st, 2020. Last payment's going to be September 1st, 2026, whatever it is. And once you've satisfied that, you've made all the payments, I will deed over the property to you. So the way I like to do it is the property stays in my name or the seller's name. It stays in the original owner's name. It doesn't really get transferred to the buyer until they've paid the entire debt. Now, once they've paid the debt, you can then write a new deed and transfer it that way. That's how I like to do it. It's faster because you can put the contract together. You both go and sign it, you notarize it, and then you can record it at the county. You can always do that. You can record it at the county, especially if you're the buyer and you want that, you can record it at the county. Or you don't have to, right? You just maintain the records. You want to maintain the originals. I use a service called GeekPay, and that's how I track monthly payments. And that lets the buyer and the seller know, hey, here's where we are. Here's the balance. Here's where we are on your payments. You're late, you're not late. Kind of keeps track of everything. But let me go ahead and show you what the documents look like. So this here is a contract for deed. And you can see here it's got my company, Federal Land Company, as the seller, the purchaser here. Sale of the property, so we've agreed to sell it for $35,000. It gives you some more, some kind of details here specific to the property. You come down here, purchase price and terms. And for purchase price and terms, you see here that the purchase price is going to be $35,000. The purchaser agrees to pay $30,000 up front with the execution of this agreement. So when we actually go to sign this at the notary's office, they'll give me a check, a cashier's check or cash for $30,000, and then $5,000 is going to be payable as follows. So they're going to pay $5,000 in 25 monthly installments of $200 each, with the first payment the 15th of September, and the last payment's going to be the 15th of September 2024. And time is of the essence. So you can see here, so you got security, you got various clauses, maintenance and improvement, condition, possession of the property. So I always allow the buyer to take possession of the property immediately. As soon as we sign this document, it's theirs. You know, you can do whatever you want with the property. I have no problem with it. Here, taxes and insurance. So I usually like to, there's only been one situation where I've decided to pay the taxes on behalf of the purchaser and then have them reimburse me. I usually just have the purchaser pay the taxes directly. So when I get a notice at the end of the year, I just go ahead and transfer it. I mail it to them and I have them pay it. Here, this clause here states what happens if you default. I usually give people 30 days. If after 30 days you default on payment, I begin the foreclosure process and try and repossess the property back. Deed and evidence of title. Okay, so this is critical. So upon total payment of the purchase price and all late fees, seller agrees to deliver to purchaser deed to the subject property. Okay? At my expense. So I will write the deed and pay for it. Here's the notices. I usually like to include a purchaser's mailing address when I need to forward any kind of tax document or anything like that. And then you got other various clauses here, a lot of contract language. And then finally here at the end, witness. This is where I sign, I have the purchaser sign, and then I have it notarized. It's critical if you want to get it recorded at the county, it needs to be acknowledged and notarized. Otherwise, the county will not accept it. All right, in this folder here I'm actually going to take this file later today. So I included 3 copies in case we make some kind of a mistake. We signed 2, so I'll have an original and the buyer will have an original. And then a 3rd in case of mistakes. But I also then include my title here. So I like to show them, hey, here's my deed. Here, I bought it from this person. Here's my company, right? And I like to show them the deed. It's been recorded at the county. Here are all the signatures. So this is the original. And so I like to back it up with proof here that, hey, I own the property. Everything's above board. And that's how I like to do business. Everything's above board. I own the property. I'm transparent. These are all public records. I give them the contract. If they don't want to sign it, here's what I do. By the time we go to the notary, they're ready to sign because I've already sent them a copy of the contract. And I encourage them, hey, take this to a real estate attorney. Have them look at it, get an opinion. You know, it's going to cost you some money, but get an opinion. But I feel that if you're above board, if you're doing everything transparent, go get an attorney if you want to get an attorney, get a real estate agent's opinion if you want to. Do whatever you need to do to feel comfortable with the deal, and we'll be fine. Look, I'm not, because there's a lot of people who might try and scam someone, and it's important that you do your due diligence, that you feel comfortable with the deal. Because I've been scammed before. I got scammed by a contractor maybe a month ago, where I paid up front and the guy disappeared. And there's really no way to recover that money. So, guys, land contracts are a really neat option. It really opens up the possibilities and the amount of buyers that are available to purchase your property. So I highly recommend that you try it out. You're definitely going to get more money this way versus if you're just asking for cash. If you have property that you want to sell in South Carolina, give me a call. My name's Joe, PalmettoLandBuyers.com. Go to our website. You can reach me at 803-201-9137. We would love to talk to you. We'd love to take a look at your property. Take care.